Every day, millions of Americans use artificial intelligence. They ask questions, generate images, write emails, finish school assignments, and sometimes even build entire businesses. For most people, it feels simple. You type a question, press enter, and a few seconds later, an answer appears on the screen, almost like magic. But what if I told you that behind every AI response, there is an enormous machine working in the background? A machine so large that it is creating one of the biggest investment booms in modern history. Most people think the winners of the AI revolution will be companies building chatbots. Companies like ChatGPT, Gemini, or the next big AI startup. But some investors are paying attention to something very different, something most people never see. Because every AI tool depends on a hidden network of buildings, servers, electricity, and infrastructure. And as artificial intelligence grows, those hidden assets are becoming more valuable than ever before. The real gold rush of the AI era may not be artificial intelligence itself. It may be the data centers powering everything behind the scenes. When people imagine artificial intelligence, they usually imagine software, a chatbot, a smart assistant, a powerful algorithm. But software cannot exist without hardware. Every question sent to an AI system must be processed somewhere, and that somewhere is often a massive data center. Inside these facilities are thousands of powerful computers working around the clock, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, processing information, storing data, running calculations, and generating the responses people see on their screens. Just one request may seem small, but now imagine millions of people asking questions at the same time. Millions of images being generated. Millions of documents being analyzed. The demand becomes enormous, and that demand keeps growing. This is creating a challenge that many technology companies did not fully expect. Artificial intelligence requires huge amounts of computing power, and huge amounts of computing power require huge amounts of infrastructure. More buildings, more servers, more cooling systems, more electricity. In other words, the future of AI may depend less on software than many people think, and more on the physical systems supporting it, the systems most consumers never notice. This is where the story becomes interesting. Throughout history, some of the biggest fortunes were not made by the people chasing the gold. They were made by the people selling the tools, selling the equipment, providing the infrastructure. And many analysts believe something similar may be happening right now. Every major AI company needs computing power. Every AI model needs servers. Every server needs electricity. And every piece of that infrastructure creates business opportunities. That's why data centers are expanding across the United States. That's why energy companies are paying attention. That's why technology investors continue watching this space closely. Because while the public focuses on the latest AI app, other businesses are building the foundation underneath it. Think about it. If artificial intelligence continues growing over the next decade, the demand for infrastructure may grow alongside it. More users, more processing, more storage, more power, more facilities. The technology may look digital, but the business behind it is surprisingly physical, and that is what makes this story so important. The future of AI may not only belong to the companies creating intelligent software, it may also belong to the companies building the systems that make that software possible. So what does all of this mean? It means that the artificial intelligence revolution may be much bigger than most people realize. When people talk about AI, they usually focus on the tools they can see. The chatbot, the image generator, the virtual assistant. But beneath those products is an entire ecosystem that most users never think about. An ecosystem built on infrastructure, data centers, energy, networks, and the technology that keeps everything running. The next decade could bring some of the biggest changes the technology industry has ever seen. New companies will emerge, new industries will grow, and new opportunities will appear in places that most people are currently ignoring. The biggest lesson is simple. Sometimes the most valuable part of a revolution is not the product everyone is talking about. It's the foundation supporting it. And while millions of people continue focusing on the latest AI tools, others are watching the infrastructure behind them, because that's where some of the biggest opportunities may be developing. The AI race is still in its early stages, and the story is far from over. We'll continue following the companies, technologies, and trends shaping the future of artificial intelligence. Subscribe and stay with us as we keep searching for the stories that matter most.